Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Could a new government partnership between the SEC and the CFTC signal the end of the Ripple lawsuit? Well, that's what people are speculating. Literally yesterday, I put out a video where I highlighted that Gary Gensler seems to be a little bit more willing to have talks about how to properly regulate cryptocurrencies and everything associated with the asset class, which is funny because I thought it's been perfectly crystal clear from what he's been saying for years, that, or at least for as long as he's been in charge of the SEC, I thought it was crystal clear what is and is not a security and how everything, there was no additional clarity needed, but now he's saying, well, we could work with the CFTC to kind of hash things out a little bit. Well, now people are saying this could impact the Ripple case. In fact, this could signal closure of the case sooner than later. So I'm going to share with you the arguments that are being made along with my thoughts on the topic. I'm not as confident as them. I'll just say that here at the outset. Also, I want to highlight some things that attorney John Deaton had to say. He was on Fox Business today, and he said some very fiery things I think you're going to enjoy hearing, in particular if you haven't heard the segment yet. But he was on with Fox Business journalist Charles Payne. And I tell you, it's just, I love seeing John Deaton get the message out on national television about what's happening to XRP holders, the XRP community, and how also Ripple's being attacked by the SEC. So I want to highlight a bit of that. And also got this headline from Finance Feeds: XRP lawsuit. Ripple counts on judge to control SEC's redactions, submission by April 8th. And so I've got a little bit of an update for you on this topic. I'm sure many of you are aware that the SEC is requesting to redact certain parts of notes, which could be highly relevant to Ripple's case here with the SEC. They want to redact additional information. I've expressed concern about that, I think for good reason. Although, on the whole, I feel optimistic about it because the judge, in this case, Judge Sarah Netburn, she is going to be personally seeing this information that the SEC wants redacted. So if she says, yeah, it should be redacted, I think she's been operating in good faith. But I want to highlight some specifics as to why, in all likelihood, it's not going to be a problem. So I'll cover that last in this video. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I'm not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun, damn it. And if you don't like it, well, you can just get out. So we'll be starting with, we'll be starting with this piece from AMB Crypto, titled "The Ripple Connection in Gensler's Plan to Collaborate with CFTC on Crypto Regulation." SEC Chair Gary Gensler revealed the collaborative crypto regulation plans through a speech delivered during the Penn Law Capital Markets Association's annual conference on April 4th. The speech underscored the importance of regulators in ensuring financial stability, investor protection, fair, orderly, and efficient markets. Gensler also noted the need for technology neutrality in regulation and said that cryptocurrencies should not be treated differently because of their different technology. Let's just pause there. The absurdity of that idea is hopefully obvious. Gary Gensler is saying that cryptocurrency shouldn't be treated any differently because of their technology relative to any other security or, well, really anything. Honestly, he thinks everything's a security then again. So what the hell? Okay, but can you define what the hell it is? Because whether or not something is a security or is not is directly linked to whether or not there's a common enterprise, which is a prong of the Howey test. And you, Mr. Gensler, have not cited what constitutes sufficiently decentralized so that there is no longer a common enterprise if there ever was one even to begin with. So don't pretend like there's no additional clarity to be had here and everything's just going to be treated the same and we should just know these things. Yeah, more from John Deaton on that idea of exactly how Gensler's approaching that in just a minute or two here. But let me proceed with this story a little further first. He further proceeded to list out the crypto-related areas that the SEC will target with its regulatory strategy. He revealed that he asked his staff members to create strategies for regulating platforms. The SEC requested they combine securities and non-securities trading regulation strategies while noting their collaboration with the CFTC. So just folks, if everything's so clear, again, I gotta ask, why are they doing any collaboration with the CFTC? I thought all the work was done here. Wasn't this all figured out? Why are they? Well, there's no need to collaborate with anybody. Gary Gensler, you already figured this out. You done a bang up job so far, right? Isn't that what you think? He's probably got a framed picture of himself at his home. I'd imagine he's one of those. I would imagine that he's one of those because he thinks so highly of himself. But check out this quote from Gensler. I've asked staff to work with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, on how we jointly might address such platforms that might trade both crypto-based security tokens and some commodity tokens using our respective authorities. End quote. So now that the asset class has been around 13 years, you're just getting around to this. But it's all been crystal clear here. All right, okay. Well, check out this little subheading titled, Can Crypto Regulation Collaboration Affect XRP? And this is where they get into this idea of what would this all mean for Ripple and for XRP holders? Is this case just going to come to an end sooner than later as a result of this collaboration? Is this just some sort of smooth way out? Well, they ended up highlighting this Twitter thread, and I don't want to read the whole thing, but Crypto Whale, who is a very popular figure within the world of crypto all up on the Twitters, he just noted that the SEC and Commodity Futures Trading Commission announced official partnership, and that was as of April 5th. And then somebody from our community named Shane responded to Crypto Whale with his opinion on this, which was covered in this article. Shane wrote the following. I guess it's the SEC's way of slowly and sheepishly exiting the XRP saga. So I get what he's saying. The point that I think he's making anyway is that the SEC is working with the CFTC now, coming to a conclusion of how to regulate these assets on various platforms, who regulates what would be a security, and they could come to new conclusions about what XRP is or is not. And then they can just kind of like Homer Simpson back into a bush, just fade into oblivion, right? And just get out of it that way. Reasonable speculation, but I respectfully disagree with that perspective. That would be a defeat for the SEC because they've been arguing, this has been crystal clear this whole time. Gary Gensler said everybody's been saying this, arguing that everything's very clear. So if the SEC worked with the CFTC on this and was like, oh yeah, well, we've now decided that it doesn't look like XRP is a security, we can just end this whole thing, they're going to look like damn fools. And they don't want to look like damn fools, even though they do to us, obviously, but to the unsuspecting public that really isn't paying attention to stuff, they may be, to those people, a respected organization. So they don't want to change anything. They're not going to do that. If they want out, they're just going to settle. That's what they're going to do. And they'll have to work out terms of that with Ripple that would be agreeable. But that's what it would actually look like. If they went out, it's like settlement or bust, because they're not going to do a case dismissal, because that will look like a defeat too. I've talked about that before. It's going to be settlement. But thinking that this has something to do with the CFTC, I respectfully disagree. But still, I'll cover what the article had to say a little bit further. And you can tell me if you think I'm right, or if you think I'm wrong. That's fine either way. But back to the AMB crypto piece, they wrote the following. One of the implications of the SEC-CFTC collaboration is that they will need to be aligned in their opinions about the Ripple lawsuit. If the SEC sides with the CFTC on XRP, then that would likely mean the end of the lawsuit. So again, that's what they say. I respectfully disagree with that. If they agree that XRP does not, just the nature of it existing does not constitute a security, again, that's a lose for the SEC. They're going to look like damn idiots. And they're not, no, I mean, they already do, but they're not going to make it worse, right? In that sense, by admitting defeat, no. They make it worse all the time by just having bad legal arguments and being hypocrites and being liars. Yes, they do that. But by admitting that they were wrong, they're going to make it worse for themselves by admitting that they did something wrong or that something wasn't completely clear. I don't see that. And then they wrote the following. Well, Gensler provided clarity on the regulatory approach to the crypto market by noting the three main focus areas. They include cryptocurrency exchanges, crypto custody, and platforms that list crypto tokens and crypto commodity tokens. The regulatory focus seems to take the target away from digital currencies. However, the plan to clamp down on crypto access points might pave the way for stringent measures and surveillance on crypto-related transactions. Okay, again, even on that point, I respectfully disagree. There is no indication from the SEC that their stance on individual cryptocurrencies has changed whatsoever. If anything, this is arguably more like they're just looking at who should regulate, like who should sue the cryptocurrency exchanges into oblivion. It's like they're fighting over that now, more specifically. I'm just not seeing this. Now, it doesn't mean there's, to be clear, it doesn't mean there's not conversation like that going on, because the truth is, and the SEC knows it, even if they won't admit it publicly, it's not clear which cryptocurrencies are securities. All I'm saying is they're not going to be like, yeah, we messed up with XRP and then blow it all right there. Now, on that front, no, I can highlight this now. Here's a video clip of John Deaton speaking to Charles Payne today on Fox Business, and this was shared by my fellow XRP YouTuber, Brad Kimes, with the YouTube channel Digital Perspectives. And John Deaton had to say the following about how difficult it is to be a cryptocurrency exchange in 2022 under the reign of SEC Supreme Leader and Dictator Kim Jong-Ginzer. And I called him that. Not John Deaton didn't call him that, but that's what I call him, Kim Jong-Ginzer. He is a dictator. But here's a quote. I transcribed this from attorney John Deaton. Oh, by the way, worth mentioning before I forget, if you look right here where I'm circling, that, I know it's hard to make out on the screen right now because it's a small picture, but that is an XRP hat. In fact, maybe I can get a zoomed in, if I can find a zoomed in picture of him. That's about as close as I can get. John Deaton, I like that he strategically put his XRP hat right there in the frame, which I just thought was a cool extra touch. On television, you actually could see it. But anyway, here's what John had to say. Gary Gensler has waged a war on crypto. For example, he says that the crypto platforms, the Coinbases, and the Krakens of the world, these digital exchanges, that they need to be regulated, and they need to register with the SEC. But Charles, the only reason they would register with the SEC is if they were selling securities. When they go to Gary Gensler and they say, hey, I've got 70 to 80 tokens on my platform. We don't believe they're securities. Which ones do you believe are securities? We'll take them off the platform. Gary Gensler's response is, we won't give you advice. You just need to come in and register anyway. That's not a system that works. What the hell do you even do with that? Yeah, well, you got to register because you're selling securities. Oh, which ones are securities? We didn't know that. We weren't trying to do that. I can't really tell you. That's actually what's happening. It's infuriating. It's disgusting. And John Deaton nailed it on national television. He just knocked this out of the freaking park. And then Charles Payne, he noted that attorney John Deaton is representing over 66,000 XRP holders, and he asked, what is the beef here? That's a quote. What is the beef here? Why is the SEC trying to shut this down? End quote. And he's referencing, of course, XRP. And here's a quote from attorney Deaton. Well, Charles, we did something that's never been done. We actually went into court. We petitioned the court and said, we want to be named as defendants in this case. And the judge, in her opinion, said in a non-family situation, this has never happened. Who goes in and says, sue us too? Because they effectively did. When the SEC filed this case against Ripple and its two executives in December of 2020, they didn't just go after them. They attacked every single XRP holder because they're going along with this absurd claim that all XRP, even XRP traded in the secondary market with no connection to Ripple, that they're all unregistered securities. Charles, they're saying this despite the fact that for 8 years it traded publicly in the United States. They're saying this despite the fact that in 2015, the United States government, FinCEN, declared XRP a virtual currency. And despite the fact that every foreign government, the UK, Japan, Switzerland, Singapore, United Arab Emirates, every foreign government that's looked at this token has declared it a non-security, yet our SEC is stating otherwise. Bam. John Deaton absolutely killed it, guys. I'm telling you. It was he was on for about 4.5 minutes, and he just absolutely nailed it. It's so good to see this stuff on national television, but you couldn't ask for a better representative of the XRP community covering stuff like this. And he is in it, man. He is in the trenches. He knows his stuff. It is just so refreshing to see this on national television. And it is that big of a story. It deserves to be on national television. I'm glad Fox Business has picked this up. Also, I wanted to highlight this. So attorney John Deaton, he was in clearly looks like he's a hotel room because he's in Miami right now for the Bitcoin conference, which goes from April 6th through the 9th. And I imagine it just smells like room temperature cottage cheese there, but it could still be a fun time. There's probably a bunch of good people that go there too, not just crazy Bitcoin maximalists. But he took a picture here of, it looks like he's at the airport, and he said, "In Miami, not a Bitcoin maxi in sight yet." And that was on April 5th, the day before this started. And then he shared a picture of his hat. And I thought this was kind of cool, so I thought I'd share it with you. He tweeted out the following: "When I got out the rental car at the hotel, the valet noticed my hat and said, 'XRP, I have some of that along with Ether and Bitcoin.' I said, 'Me too,' and then tipped him in XRP. I didn't have time to wait for the other two." Woo! I like that burn. And look, I'm pro all those. I own all three of those as well. But I just think that's hilarious. So it's kind of cool. So the valet guy, he's got XRP, ETH, and Bitcoin, tipped in XRP though. Cheaper and faster, folks. If utility matters, you know what. Now this is interesting. It'll be interesting to see how John Deaton says this goes. But here's a picture of the shirt that he says he ordered online and will be wearing at the Bitcoin conference. It just says Crypto Maximalist. So it's got the logos for Bitcoin, Ether, and XRP. And again, this is a Bitcoin conference specifically. Not that everybody there is going to be just a Bitcoin maximalist, but I am curious to see when he provides some feedback exactly how that looks, especially since you know XRP is the most hated cryptocurrency by Bitcoin maxis. And then there was this. This just looks kind of cool. This is the Wall Street Bull from New York, except for it's like a cyber version, and this is right out front at the in Miami at the conference. It does look pretty damn cool. So there's all sorts of people that have been posing in front of it. All right, now into this last piece from Finance Feeds, titled "XRP Lawsuit. Ripple Counts on Judge to Control SEC's Redactions." Submission by April 8th. And so I just wanted to highlight, and these are some quotes from the judge, and this highlights the degree to which she's taken a pretty reasonable approach, I think, and why I personally am not worried about these redactions on various topics getting passage. I don't think it's going to be the case. But here's what was actually covered in the article. In Judge Nepern's original ruling regarding these notes, the order stated, quote, "The SEC has not established that these 11 sets of notes demonstrate the kind of exercise of judgment necessary for the privilege to apply. Fact gathering from third parties is not an inherently privileged activity. The SEC itself notes that information about what occurred at such meetings can be requested from those third parties. Nothing in the notes suggests that certain facts were recorded while others were purposely omitted as an exercise of judgment or deliberation, and the SEC has not submitted any declarations by notes authors attesting to their method or manner of note-taking, nor do the notes appear to reflect any personal observations or commentary by their authors. The privilege does not shield these notes from production. To the extent, however, that any portions of the notes expressly reflect the author's own thinking or reflect deliberations or communications among the SEC staff during the meeting, the SEC may seek to leave to redact such portions. As interpreted by the court, none of these notes appear to contain attorney-client communications or worked product." So there you go. So to this point, there's no evidence, so says the judge, that these should be shielded by the SEC from Ripple for any reason at this point, for privilege reasons or attorney-client privilege reasons. Nothing like that whatsoever is clear. So but she did say if you want to make the argument, you're invited to do so, which does seem reasonable. And I mean, of course, the SEC is going to take advantage of it to hide as much as they can and see what they can get away with. But I don't get the sense that the judge is going to let them actually get away with anything relevant being hidden that doesn't reasonably deserve any sort of privilege classification. I don't think that she's going to do that. And she's already laid the groundwork here. She's like, well, here is the case. We don't see anything to this point. And, she's like, the work's cut out for the SEC here. Made it very clear. Here's the reasons that, XYZ doesn't apply. And so you're going to have to argue why it does. I think justice is going to be done here, but there's nothing Ripple can do about it anyway, frankly. It's just, it is what it is. But I think that Judge Netburn and Torres, they've both done fine jobs to this point. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.